We're going to talk about the legal and regulatory framework under the section of payments and settlements. We'll also talk about access to the national payment system, RAN participation in continuous linked settlements, payment industry bodies and committees, payment industry committees, payments council, and policy and regulatory forum. So, and then lastly, with regards to the role of the South African Reserve Bank, and after I cover this section, which is banknotes and coin, after this I'll just summarize on what to expect in the next episode, as well what we're going to cover in the next episode before we before the end of this episode. So with regards to banknotes and coin, the SRB has the sole authority to produce, issue, and destroy South African currency, and is entrusted to ensure the availability and integrity of the South African rand. The SRB was established on 30 June 1921 to issue, distribute, and destroy banknotes and coin. The first banknotes were issued by the SRB on 19 April 1922. The rand has been legal tender in South Africa since 1961 when it replaced the pound. It takes its name from the Witwatersrand, the ridge on which Johannesburg is built and where most of South Africa's gold deposits were found. The rand is legal tender in the common monetary area, which concludes Eswatini, Lesotho, and Namibia. In 1996, the mandate of the SRB was expanded to include price stability maintenance. One of its main functions remains ensuring a sufficient supply of trusted banknotes and coin. And then we're going to talk about design, production, distribution, assurance. These are things we're going to talk about with regards to the SRB. And then the currency management department works with the South African main company, Property Limited, which means coins, and the South African banknote company, Proprietary Limited, which prints banknotes. Both are subsidiaries of the SRB. The SRB Act the SARB Act 90 of 1989 provides for the legal tender status of the banknotes and coin issued by the SRB. It also contains provisions relating to the mutilation, reproduction, and counterfeiting of the South African banknotes and coin. So those are the things that we'll talk about with regards to banknotes and coin. And the SRB provides support, education, and awareness on banknotes and coin to the public. In collaboration with relevant stakeholders, the SRB runs ongoing public engagement programs at taxi ranks, malls, schools, and community gatherings. The team also conducts public awareness in common monetary area countries where the rand is legal tender. Members of the public organizations wish to invite the SRB delegates to the area for awareness and training at no cost can contact the SRB at 012-313-4713 or currency at risebank.co.za. So, guys, basically that was a summary about the role of the South African Reserve Bank in our society, in our economy, and in our communities. So you can see the important role that the South African Reserve Bank has in our society. So hence why this conversation about nationalization of the SRB, it's such an important conversation. It affects everyone, and it's very important that we approach the conversation from a financial point of view, an economic point of view, and we talk about all of those different details as well. So and it will help us in terms of if nationalization of the South African Reserve Bank happens, how will it happen? What are the different aspects and roles of the South African Reserve Bank that we must consider when talking about the when talking about nationalization of the South African Reserve Bank? So so yeah, as you saw, I basically just introduce you to all of the different roles of the South African Reserve Bank. I also introduce you to the concept of nationalization as well. And in future episodes, I'm gonna get more into detail on that, on the relationship of nationalization and the South African Reserve Bank. I'll get more into detail. I just wanted to introduce, all of the different aspects of the conversation and the discussion to you in this first episode, so that just to lay, foundation on what the conversation is going to be about, what the discussion is going to be about as well. Isn't it amazing that you know, uh, I believe the conversation about the South African Reserve Bank and nationalization is gonna, it's gonna increase this year more than ever before. And isn't it amazing that when that happens, it's amazing that the South African Reserve Bank was established on June 1921. The South African Reserve Bank was established on June 1921 to issue, distribute, and destroy banknotes and coin. The first banknotes were issued by the SARB on 19 April 2022. So isn't it amazing that 100 years from the establishment of the South African Reserve Bank that we're having this conversation about nationalization and the South African Reserve Bank, possibly one of the most important conversations we'll have in our country at a very important time in our country economically, as you can see. So it's very significant. It's amazing to see 100 years from the establishment of the South African Reserve Bank, while having this conversation about nationalization and the South African Reserve Bank. So and I'm very excited about this conversation. I'm very excited about this series, as well. So, guys, get your notes out, get your notebooks out, get your pens out. It's going to be amazing because I believe it's high time that we have a technical conversation about nationalization and the South African Reserve Bank. It's high time that I feel we have a detailed conversation about nationalization and the South African Reserve Bank. We must stop having these we must stop having these uh, very surface level conversations, which you know we don't really get into details. We're telling people about nationalization, but we're not telling people how it's going to work, how it's going to affect the economy, what are the changes that need to be made, what are the legislative considerations. We're not having that conversation, and I believe we must have that conversation. We should have had it already. We must have it today, and we must have it tomorrow, and in years to come, and in the next 12 months, as we're celebrating 100 years of the establishment of the South African Reserve Bank. So, guys, thank you very much for joining me, and join me for the next episode, which will come in about a month's time, and I look forward to it. I hope you look forward to it. Thank you for joining me in this recording and in this episode. And I just want to say, the recording is going to be available on my social media platforms, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube. I'll post it there. For those who want to download the episode, there's going to be links to download the episode as well. I'll send you a link to download a copy of the notes that I made, which we're talking about earlier on. As I said, each and every episode is going to have notes, which will be available for download. So thank you guys for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and take care.